Hello, Internet. It is I, Malik Aaron, and welcome back to Box Office Predictions. Today, we're going to be talking about a Minecraft movie. So, as usual, we're going to be going over the pros and cons. So, let's get to it. Pros. So, Minecraft. I mean, who doesn't know what Minecraft is at this point? Unless you've been living under a rock for like 15 years. But yeah, I mean, Minecraft, it's a game, obviously. From what I read, it's started as a public alpha build like in '09, got a full release in 2011. And in the 14 years since, the game's been a little popular. Nothing too crazy, nothing insane or anything. I mean, it's only sold over 300 million copies and has, according to this, nearly 170 million monthly active players as of last year. So, yeah, no big deal. I kid. I kid. Minecraft's fucking huge. And that's not an exaggeration. That's an absolute fact. Like, goddamn. This game, this little game has, like, has ballooned to such a degree, it's mental. I mean, people have made whole careers playing this game online. Like, entire careers. Like, that's nuts. It's not even just like one person, like a shit ton of people have been successful because they play Minecraft. Now, I haven't even mentioned like, people who make Minecraft, there's like music videos people made of Minecraft, some of which have gotten like a shit ton of views. I think some are like in the hundreds of millions. And then I haven't even talked about the merch. I mean, the merch is everywhere with this thing. Like, you can't escape it. There's a whole freaking convention that's all about Minecraft. And yeah, it's just wild just seeing like how big Minecraft has gotten. So yeah, I mean, brand name recognition is like the biggest pro ever in this case. Because again, like, who doesn't know what Minecraft is? So yeah, so that's obviously a pro, the brand name. Another pro is let's look at the cast here because we got two big names here. We got Jason Momoa and Jack Black. Jack Black being Steve, who was the face of Minecraft. So we might as well talk about Jack Black first. So Jack Black, he's been around for quite a bit. He didn't really start getting recognized really until Shallow Hal. That was like his, one could argue like his first like real breakout movie. And then I forgot he voiced in Ice Age, but School of Rock, that was like his first like main movie where it's all about him. And School of Rock was a hit. It's seen as a classic nowadays. And after that, like his stock just shot up. He's voiced in quite a few animated movies. He was Lenny in Shark Tale. He was the voice of Poe in the Kung Fu Panda movies. He was in the King Kong remake in '05. Nacho Libre, a movie I love to death. That's a cult classic, big old cult classic. Um, it was like The Holiday, but he wasn't like the main guy there. He was in Tropic Thunder. It took a bit of a break from movies for like a few years. They came out with Goosebumps. He was in the recent Jumanji movies, which have been stupidly successful. Like, this one made almost $1 billion, something nobody saw coming. And then you got House of a Clock in its walls that did decent. That Jumanji Next Level. Then he voiced Bowser in the Super Mario Brothers movie. There was a Kung Fu Panda 4 last year, which did very well. And I hear are with a Minecraft movie. So yeah, Jack Black has a lot of success under his belt. I mean, sure, some of these movies have not done great. Going back down. There's like Envy, but like no one really remembers that at all. There's Tenacious D, which is like based off his band. That didn't do well. I'm pretty sure I did way better like on the home market. Be Kind Rewind, kind of like the same deal there. And then Year One was a flop. Gulliver's Travels was a flop here, did better internationally. The Big Year, no one remembers that. And last year he voiced Claptrap in Borderlands, a movie we should all forget. So, yeah, but Jack Black is a super recognizable face. Like, duh. And then we also got Jason Momoa, the former Aquaman, soon to be Lobo in the Supergirl movie. So, yeah, Jason Momoa started like in most people initially know him from like Game of Thrones, but in the movie world, he was at Conan and the Conan Barbarian remake. Nobody watched, but then he got to be Aquaman in the DCEU, where he was in Batman v Superman, albeit for a brief moment. He was in Justice League, got a solo movie in 2018, which became the biggest DC movie ever financially, which is just fucking crazy to think about. Because Aquaman was such a mocked character for such a long time, and then the movie did better than like any Batman movie. Crazy. He's also in Dune and Fast X, and as I mentioned, he's going to be Lobo and Supergirl. So yeah, Jason Momoa, people very much know who the hell he is. So yeah, so those are like our main two faces. There's like I guess we're Danielle Brooks. Like, what has she been in? Okay, there's the Color Purple remake, which came out like in 2023, which I still don't quite understand that movie's box office run because it had such a strong opening day and then it just plummeted. It just crashed down after that and became a huge bomb. Still baffles me, which hasn't really been too many movies, so I can't really judge her stock. Same goes with Emma Myers. Yeah, really nothing. And who else? Who was like our last main character? Sebastian Eugene. Same thing, really. It's like Just Mercy, but I can't really judge that. So yeah, it's mainly about Jason Momoa and Jack Black, and they're hella recognizable. So that's a pro. Another pro is that this is a video game movie, and in the past, this would be seen as a terrible thing. Because video game movies, for the longest period of time, have had this curse attached to them, where they would either be total bombs at the box office or just be absolute ass, critically, quality wise. And that lasted for decades, man, all the way back for like the first Mario movie in like 93, which was a bad movie, but now it's kind of seen as a cult classic. Same goes for like the first Street Fighter movie, the first Mortal Kombat movie. Although the first Mortal Kombat movie was a hit financially, it was the first to really be one. But then Mortal Kombat Annihilation, I was ooh. It's a movie I love because it's so awful. But yeah, just video game movies have such like a bad track record. But I gotta find like a whole list because I'm not gonna really find it here. Let me see. Oh, the video games based off films. Films based off video games. There we go. Yeah, first Mario Brothers movie, the Double Dragon, Street Fighter, Mortal Kombat, Annihilation, Wing Commander. No one remembers that. I guess there's the Pokemon movies, which that first Pokemon movie did great, but then they really slid down in terms of box office like afterwards. The Lara Croft Tomb Raider, that first movie did really well because the Tomb Raider brand was like white hot, but then the sequel flopped. Don't even get me started on the Yui Bowl video game movies like House of the Dead and Alone in the Dark and Blood Rain, shit like that. And then all the Resident Evil movies, they were successful, but they weren't that good. They were just kind of weird fan fiction. Then Doom was a huge bomb. Silent Hill, people kind of like that game, but the sequel, well, we don't talk about the sequel. Then you got Max Payne. That was a big bust. I'm looking at this list off script. DOA Dead or Alive. That's a movie I love. I've watched that movie way too many times. It's a guilty pleasure of mine. Then there's the Hitman in '07. That movie did okay, I guess, but wasn't received well. Then, oh my god, Street Fighter Legend of Chun Li, the movie with a white Chun Li. Yep, that really happened. Nobody watched it. There's the Prince of Persia movie no one really cared about. Then I'm looking at there's like more Resident Evil movies. There's Need for Speed, the Hitman Agent 47. There's Warcraft, which was the biggest video game movie for quite a while, actually. Even though it was a total bomb here in the states, but it did way better internationally, like specifically in China. You got Angry Birds movie, Rampage, so it wasn't good at this point. But things changed in 2019 with Detective Pikachu. Things started to change. That was the first video game movie where people were like, you know what? This is actually kind of good. And it was a big hit. And then next year, you had the Sonic movie. A movie that, despite having the worst first impression in the world, they were able to fix Sonic's design and, please the public, and ended up being a big old hit, even with COVID killing its momentum. Because it absolutely could have made more money if it wasn't for COVID, but still did really, really well. Which spawned, Sonic 2 and Sonic 3, each one doing better than the last. And then you have even like the Mortal Kombat movie, even though that movie was handicapped with COVID and the HBO Max experiment, it managed to find an audience, and it's going to get a sequel later this year. And then you got like Uncharted, which was a big hit despite not being very good. And then 2023, shit got real crazy with the Super Mario Brothers movie, the animated one. This movie destroyed any and all expectations when it comes to the financial potential for video game movies. I mean, look at these numbers: 574 million domestically, 1.3 billion worldwide. The previous record was like 400 mil. Like, just think about that. It's like, I remember seeing like the box office like in real time for this movie. I was losing my mind. I was like, what the hell is going on here? And I thought it would be the biggest hit of 2023, but that was before Barbie came out. So yeah, but yeah, this movie popped the fuck off and then some. And then later that year, you had the Five Nights at Freddy's movie. Yeah. Which I thought this movie would open with like 20 million max. That's what I thought for the longest time. It opened with 80 million. So it made me look hella foolish. Like, the demand for this movie was something I just didn't see in advance. And, it became Blumhouse's biggest movie ever, making almost 300 million. And it's also going to get a sequel later this year. I just got like a teaser for it. So yeah, the box office potential for video game movies has went up exponentially in the last few years, especially thanks to the Mario movie. So, yeah. And even though, video game movies are still not, flawless. I mean, you had like the Borderlands movie last year, which absolutely bombed utterly. But still, like, it's a lot better now than it once was. Even in the world of like TV, where you have like, sure, you have like, shit like Halo and the shitty Resident Evil show, but you have stuff like Last of Us and Fallout, which shows that you can do video games justice. You can. You can do it. Or you can do it to a point where, audiences will still be on board. Like, it's very much possible. So yeah, video game adaptations being like, way more lucrative than they once were, I will label that as a pro. Absolute pro. Let's see. What other pro? Oh, but yeah, Thursday previews, 10.5 million, which I'm like, okay, that's a lot bigger than I thought it would be. I mean, that's bigger than Five Nights at Freddy's, which opened with I gotta like scroll all the way down. and that opened with like a 80 million. Well, Minecraft, like comparatively, that's bigger. That's about as big as Oppenheimer. It's bigger than Little Mermaids. About the same as Minions: Rise of Gru. That opened over 100 million. So I say it's in a good place when it comes to its preview numbers. It's in a very solid place right now. So yeah, I mean it's not that far off from like Captain America: Brave New World, which so far has the biggest opening weekend of 2025. So yes, preview numbers really strong, hella strong. They're bigger than any Sonic movie. So yeah, so I would label its preview numbers as a big old pro. Another pro is the very severe lack of direct competition, really any competition in general, because Snow White, that fucking tanked hard, hard. That movie died a death, so that movie's gonna be no issue, and then everything else just doesn't really stand a chance against this. And there's no serious direct competition for this movie, really, like the whole month. I mean, I guess the only other biggish movie coming out this month is Sinners, which is also from Warner Brothers, and that it's coming out in 2 weeks on Easter. But everything else, I don't think it's gonna make a real dent in this movie's box office. So, yeah, lack of real competition for like a whole month. Gotta label that as a pro. Um, any other pros? I guess the marketing has been all over the place for this movie. I mean, you see it everywhere. Warner Brothers, they're not screwing around here. They are like pushing this as hard as they can. And that's good, obviously. So, yeah, just the fact that this movie, damn well this movie's coming out, that is a pro. Trying to think of some other pros. I think I mentioned like all the main parts, all the main, things. Cons are irrelevant at this point because nothing's stopping this movie. Nothing's stopping this train. But I guess I'll mention some things. Reviews aren't that great. Has like a 48% critic score. Audience score is a lot better at 85%. And cinema score is like a B plus, which is the same as Snow White, but it's also the same as Companion, my favorite movie of 2025. So maybe a B plus isn't like terrible or anything. It's just like whatever. But actually, let me look this up. I'm pretty sure Five Nights at Freddy's got a better score. Let me see. Five Nights. Yeah, that got an A minus. So I find that interesting. But yeah, reviews for Minecraft or a Minecraft movie are like mediocre, but that's not going to kill this movie. It's not going to do anything. They're irrelevant. So there's like that, and there's also the fact that this movie had like such a bad first impression. Like with that first trailer, people were just like, "What the hell is this?" People were like caught off guard how the movie looked. Some people thought the way that all the characters looked, all the Minecraft world characters looked like kind of uncanny looking, and people were just like, "What are we doing?" And normally that spells doom and gloom for a movie. They'd be like, "Yep, it's over. This movie's gonna die." Not here. No. Somehow this movie managed to get through that bad first impression and just gain momentum without really changing anything. It didn't have to pull a Sonic where drastic measures needed to be taken to save the movie. Like it never happened. So I find it really interesting how this movie managed to, move past, such like a poor reveal. So, yeah, but I just wanted to mention that, but it has no real bearing on how this movie's going to do financially at this point. It's not. It's not Snow White. That movie was drowning in controversy and negativity. Minecraft is not. So, yeah. But I think that's really it. So, opening weekend, initially predictions were like, oh, hey, like 60 to 70 million, but they've gone up exponentially. It's like at this point the sky's the limit. I mean, from what I'm reading right now, this is projected to hit $130 million opening weekend. which is the biggest for any movie since Moana 2 last November. Which I'm like, I'm just it's wild. So I guess I'll stick with. I'm gonna have a range. 130 to 150, I think, is a solid range opening weekend, and its legs should be good for this. I mean, like people. I mean, when I saw this movie, the audience I was with were like so glued to the screen, and they were so involved with the movie, and I'm not the only one. Apparently this is widespread. People have made like videos about their experience in the theater, and like when I was there, like everyone was like cheering like every time like a Minecraft reference like popped up, and I was just sitting there being like a non-fan. I'm just like, what in the blue hell is going on? It was a strange experience. I would compare it to how I watched Spider-Man 3 last year, like with a group of people. Just how like involved the audience was. Like it was wild. So yeah. Yeah, so yeah, obviously the core audience like fully embraced this movie. So that could mean like, a long life, a relatively long life. I mean, the Mario movie had a long life. So I'll go with 400 to 500 million total domestically, which is absolutely what the box office needs because goddamn, things have been so depressing for so long. In 2025 has finally gotten a mega blockbuster. Finally has it. And Warner Brothers too, they've been struggling so bad for like a long time. I mean, last month was awful for them. Mickey 17, Alto Nice, they did terrible. They haven't had a real big hit like this since Beetlejuice like last year. Everything else has been a bomb pretty much, except Companion, but that just did mediocre. So yeah, I know Warner Brothers, they're over the moon when it comes to what's going on with the Minecraft movie. But yeah, Minecraft movie is popping the fuck off at the box office. And it's going to erase all the negativity that went down in March single-handedly. So yeah, we got one more movie. Anywho, we got one more movie to talk about this weekend. That's The Friend, and then we're done for the weekend. So yeah, that's it. That's all. Make sure to subscribe, like this video, leave a comment, turn on notifications, share the whole drill. You want to check out more videos like this? I got playlists on the homepage. All previous prediction videos I made this year, past few years. You want to watch any of those prediction videos, you can go right ahead. There's also box office recap where I go over the box office results for the canceled series where there's that first I need to talk about. All the movies that were supposed to come out but didn't. I talked about Minecraft. I don't know how. Okay, I talked about it once. That's when it got its, I believe it's got its 2025 date. I talked about it alongside Aquaman 2, The Color Purple, Ballerina, and Five Nights at Freddy's. So that was the one time I had to talk about I keep saying a Minecraft movie sounds weird to me. I'm just gonna call it the Minecraft movie. It just sounds more natural. So yeah, that's when like the Minecraft movie was like fully got its release date. I mean, the movie was like in development for a long time, but that's when it got its date, and it stuck with it. So yeah. So you want to watch that episode 185, want to watch that or any other episodes I made. There's like 250 of them. So you want to binge watch the whole series from beginning to end. I highly encourage you to do that, so go do it. There's also box office recaps where I go over the box office results for any particular month. March recap will be in like 2 weeks. April recap will be about the second week of May, roughly. And boy, the April recap's going to be real crazy. Can tell already. So it's going to be the polar opposite of March, which is nice. So yeah, stay tuned for those. But if you want to watch any of the past recap videos I made on the channel, you can go right ahead. And yeah, that's it. That's all. I am out. Goodbye.